All right, so today we're diving into the world of super high-end luxury, but with a bit of a twist. We're not just going to talk about what it's like to drive a Bentley. We're going to talk about its hidden financial power and how one of the most prestigious car brands in the world can actually unlock some serious cash. So, let me just start by asking you a question. Is there a bank hidden in your garage? I know, it sounds a little over the top, right? But for a very specific group of people, it's actually pretty close to the truth. Because, yeah, if you're a Bentley owner, the answer to that question is a big yes. That beautiful piece of engineering sitting there isn't just a car. It's a major liquid asset just waiting to be used. It's one of the smartest ways to get your hands on capital without having to let go of your prized possession. So let's break that idea down. Your Bentley as a bank. See, a luxury car like this represents a huge amount of capital, right? But that value is often trapped. It's tied up in one single thing. The real challenge is, how do you access that money for, say, a business opportunity or some short-term need without being forced to sell something you love? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You could, of course, go to a traditional bank, but that usually means a slow, really intrusive process with mountains of paperwork, which is pretty useless if you need to move fast. On the other hand, a specialist lender, well, that's a whole different ballgame. We're talking fast decisions, completely discreet service, and super clear terms based on what your car is actually worth on the market today. And that brings us to the elegant solution, high-end asset lending. Now, it's probably not what you're picturing. This is a sophisticated financial service for people with high-value assets, and it's all designed for speed and privacy. So let's break down how it actually works. At its very core, it's what's known as a collateral loan. The key thing to understand is that the loan is secured by something you already own, in this case, your Bentley. The car itself is the security for the money, and what that means is the lending decision is based on the car's value, not on months of you getting your finances picked apart. And you know what? The process itself is incredibly simple. First, there's the appraisal. A professional assesses your Bentley's current market value. Simple enough. Then, based on that number, you get a loan offer. If you agree, the car is whisked away to a totally secure, fully insured facility for the duration of the loan. And then, the final step. Once you repay the loan, you get your Bentley back. Clean, simple, and really, really efficient. Okay, let's get to the fun part, the cars themselves. Let's see how this all plays out in the real world. We're going to start with the modern Bentleys, the ones most often used as these powerful financial tools. You know, the cars that are quietly unlocking six-figure sums for their owners every single day. Two of the absolute heavyweights here are the Continental GT and the Flying Spur. Because they're in such high demand and have really strong resale data, lenders absolutely love them. The GT is basically a staple in this world, securing loans against values anywhere from £20,000 to over £150,000. The Flying Spur, that's a real go-to for business owners with values that can top £200,000. Perfect when you need to raise capital to close a deal, like yesterday. And this quote just nails it. It shows you the confidence the market has in these modern models. Lenders don't just see them as cars. They see them as blue-chip assets, a reliable, stable store of value that they are more than happy to lend against. And speaking of blue-chip assets, you have to talk about the Bentayga. I mean, it's one of the most desirable luxury SUVs on the planet, so its resale market is incredibly strong, which makes it perfect for this kind of loan. It's just a really efficient way to get your hands on six figures fast without selling, and you still get to benefit from the car's future value. Now, let's climb the ladder a little bit into what's known as the modern classic category. These cars are in a real sweet spot for specialist lenders because people will always want them, and they have this dedicated collector following. Just think about the Mulsanne and the Arnage. The Mulsanne, which they don't make anymore, is now firmly a modern classic. It commands values well into the six figures. And the Arnage? It just perfectly bridges that gap between old-school, coach-built luxury and modern-day usability. For cars like these, the history and the condition, well, that's everything. Oh, and we're not done. You've got the Azure convertible, a super rare open-top grand tourer with a huge collector following. But the Brooklands Q, that's where things get really serious. It's so rare with such solid auction results that owners can get highly competitive loans, sometimes against a value of more than £200,000. But now, okay, now we are entering a totally different league. We're moving beyond just desirable cars and into the realm of true blue chip investments. These are the absolute icons of Bentley's history, where the values, they just get astronomical.
Just look at these two. The Continental R from the 90s, that was a big deal historically, the first Bentley in decades that didn't share a body with a Rolls-Royce. But the R-Type Continental from the 50s? That is a legend. It was the fastest four-seater car in the world in its day, and they only ever made 208 of them. Its value can top £1 million.
I mean, that is just a staggering number. But believe it or not, there is one car that stands even above that, an icon not just for the brand, but for all of automotive history. I am talking, of course, about the Bentley 4.5-liter, the supercharged blower. This isn't just a car. This is a legend that was forged in the fire of Le Mans during the golden age of racing. Famous for its racing history and its frankly insane engineering for the time, a real blower Bentley is about as collectible as it gets. These aren't just cars, they are the cornerstones of any world-class collection, which is why their value is in a completely different universe. Which brings us to the price tag. A genuine blower with a solid history can be worth over £7 million. It is the ultimate example of the incredible amount of capital that can be sitting in a single automotive asset. So here's the big takeaway. A luxury car, especially a Bentley, is so much more than just a vehicle. It's a key. It's a key that can unlock a huge amount of flexible funding, turning an asset you're passionate about into a seriously powerful financial tool. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, what overlooked asset do you own that might be holding some surprising value? Thanks for joining me today.